Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the person who's conveniently located on stage already, Mr. John Joe!
Whoa! Okay. Wow, we're just going to jump right into this. Thank you very much. I am thrilled to be here. I'm John Giles. I'm filling in today for our regular host, Mark Cordes. As you know, Mark has a real job. He's a professional comedian and entertainer, and today's one of the days that his schedule conflicted with the Mesa Morning Live. So I'm happy to be the substitute teacher today for this wonderful event. For those who are watching on television, you might not know this, but we're not in our normal location today. We are visiting the nice people at Mesa Community College in their beautiful performing arts building. This really is a beautiful theater, isn't it? I had the pleasure of coming here just a week or so ago with my grandkids to watch a musical, Shrek the Musical. It was fabulous. This is a great facility, and I'm glad that we can be here and shine a light on all the great stuff that's going on at MCC, and particularly this beautiful room. There are also other sponsors today that we just need to make sure that we're acknowledging. And if you please bear with me as I acknowledge those. It's Alpha Graphics, Gateway Bank, Yvonne Martinez Photography, Cobblestone Auto Spa, the International Minute Press, and the breakfast was provided for our guests today by the Mesa Community College Catering Department. So thank you very much, and thank you to our sponsors. Also, this is a lot like Oprah, because the folks that are in the audience, you go home with lovely gifts. So I can't tell you you're getting cars, but there are some very great bags that are waiting for you outside as you depart, so please don't forget to pick up your bag. There's lots of good stuff in there, and so you don't want to leave without your bag. So, and for the folks at home, you want to come to this event because you get a nice bag when you leave, so put that on your bucket list. Okay, and the last thing I need to remind you before we get started is, because this is a television taping, you can't have your cell phones on. So if you've got any electronic devices with you, please silence them now. There's a tradition at this show that if your phone goes off during the show, that's your agreement that you'll make a $20 donation to the United Food Bank. So Dave Richens is famous for calling people when they're on this show, hoping that their phone goes off. Dave will be on the show later today, so we'll see if my phone is right here. Hopefully it doesn't go off while he's here. Okay, well, let's kick this off and get into our first guest. I'm really excited to talk with this person because it's a wonderful topic and really a story that I'm anxious for the folks of Mesa to know more about. Our sponsor guest is Michael Voss. He's the Dean of Instruction for Career and Technical Programs here at Mesa Community College. Michael, please join us. Hey, nice job, thank you. Thanks. So Michael, I am dead serious. This is a wonderful topic. You've got a great job, a really important job in our community, and I'm anxious for us to have this conversation and get as much information out of you as quickly as we can. Career and Technical Education, CTE, that's something that we hear a lot about. It's in the news, the legislature, the governor, and everyone's talking about it. Here in the city of Mesa, we have joined the governor's program called Achieve 60 AZ, so that we want 60% of the people who live in our community to have some sort of post-high school certificate. And Mesa Community College and your CTE program are right in the center of that storm. So tell us what CTE is and why it's important.
Well, it's awesome. First off, it's just awesome. It's what we do with career tech education is put people to work. Right, we take people who want to get entry-level skills, first job ever, and teach them how to do that and do it well in a way that employers feel like they're getting a great value, that these people are ready to go with the skills that they need. We also prepare people for the next step. In today's gig economy, people are needing to upskill continuously with all the technology. So let's say you're in a job and now that the technology requirement has increased and you're having to deal with apps and app development, you could learn those skills here. We hear about blockchain. What the heck is that?
Right.
Blockchain technology, we're training on that. Healthcare is really hot right now, right? And so you want to be a nurse, dental hygiene, a paramedic, an EMT, come here, right? It's a great value, great opportunity. And what we hear time and time again is, it's one of the best kept secrets, and it shouldn't be a secret at all. We provide a fantastic service, high quality. All of our programs, when possible, they're accredited, programmatically. And so we have third-party people who come in and verify that what we do is of the highest quality possible.
Right, and you dropped a few vocabulary words there that I want to come back to, because these are the hot career areas in the country right now. I mean, with blockchain, you've got, there's not a lot of places in the country you can go and say, I want to learn about blockchain.
Well, usually you have to go to places like MIT and Harvard and stuff like that, but here, just last year, at the community college level, I think we were one of the first in the country to take a shot at what does blockchain mean, right? And we stood up one course, and we've added a few more courses, and we're going to package that around a certificate of completion to say these people have some competencies to help businesses who don't know what blockchain is learn about it. So the thing we hear all the time is, we want to hire your people because we're all learning this together, whether it's app development, blockchain, all these new things are, smart vehicles, Internet of Things, smart factories.
Yeah.
We are working on all those issues.
So what I love about your program is that this is all 21st century, cutting edge stuff.
Yeah.
And so you are teaching what people want, what they're looking for in employees right now. Yeah. So what are some of the very popular programs you have? For example, I know that your diesel program, those folks are getting great jobs, and I know the IT certification program is one of the few that's certified by Apple, among other great programs. So this is an opportunity. People are coming and studying these very sought after programs, and they're getting great jobs, high paying jobs with a 2-year certificate. They don't need to take out 4 years of student loans.
That's right, that's right. So to just profile a few of those, we have a fantastic partnership with Caterpillar, with Empire. And they actually sponsor people through that whole program. We do the training at their facility, learning how to do it their way. So not only is it diesel technology, but it's those heavy equipment vehicles that move the earth to do all the construction that we're doing here. So that's a fantastic partnership in high demand, high wages. I would say that the Network Academy, the way that, if you're looking at computers, you need to know the hardware, the software, the network, but then there's this whole cloud thing. And so those skills are in very high demand. It's one of our most popular programs. Networking, everyone's coming in to learn computer skills. I've got people who are retired coming back to learn about things and just, they have a lot to offer and a lot more to offer, and they're looking at little ways that they can keep contributing.
That's an important point. I mean, some of us might be under the impression that there's maybe an age cutoff for enrollment at MCC. Obviously not. There's a lot of folks that are working on second, third, fourth careers that are coming here. Michael, I wish we had more time to talk. We could spend the entire program talking about this program. I think you brought something to give away, if I understand correctly?
Oh, just my smiley face.
Well,
no, the thing that I really have, honestly,
please don't give away your face.
No, everyone can learn, and my big call out is, come on down. We're going to be starting classes here, in a few more weeks, and so I would just want to give you the gift of education.
Okay, great. I thought you might have brought some tickets to the theater, but we can do that later.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you, Michael.
Thanks.
We really appreciate you. Thanks for what you're doing at MCC. We appreciate it. Thank you very much. Michael Voss, MCC, Career and Technical Education. If you know a young person who's trying to figure out what they want to do with their lives, in 2 short years, they can really have a very lucrative certificate that will get them a great job coming out of MCC. Well, thank you very much. Our next guest is what we call the mystery guest. I'm not sure why it's a mystery guest. I think it's because we just at the last minute pull somebody out of the audience and say, can you talk to us for a few minutes? But this is a member of the Mesa Chamber of Commerce that we like to showcase. And it's going to be today, I think it's Allison Ewers. Allison, are you with it? There's Allison on the front row. Yes, well, we'll
Imagine
clap
somebody on that
awkwardly
star looking at us.
for you while you make your way up to the
Travel
stage.
from them to you.
Thank you.
Music?
Takes time.
I hear strange
little bit,
talking
but
in
it
the
was like,
background.
how are
Allison,
you?
thank you. Good to have you
Good
with
to
us.
have you
Please
too.
grab a seat right here. Allison, you are very familiar to us. You've been active in the Mesa Chamber for
Yes.
years and years. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
But we need to know more about HP2.
Well, I'm glad you asked, because last time you and I were together, I was Sally's sidekick. Howdy!
I remember, yes.
As the Mesa Chamber chick. So now I do have a day job. It wasn't just being Sally's sidekick. That was really fun, though. I have HP2 promotions. So we do premiums, promotions, logoed, anything and everything.
Yeah.
Access to 3.5 million products. We do silk screening in-house, embroidery, flocking, awards, you name it. So if you
That's
want to
great.
put your name on it, we can do it.
So this is promotional products. Seems like this is something that's really emerged as a big deal.
Yeah.
A lot of whenever I go places, I'm usually walking out with a water bottle or a squeezy ball or something. And so you're in the swag business.
I'm in the swag business. I'm the swag chick.
That's great. What's the coolest swag that people are putting their logos on right now?
Oh gosh, this sounds really lame, but it's really important. People say, well, the value of a pen, everyone gives a pen. But I'm going to tell you all right now, if you're at a restaurant and you don't have a logo pen and you don't leave one or two, because servers always need pens. Because why? Their customers take the pen with them. So you've already hit 2 to 3 people just by accidentally leaving it on the table. So I know that sounds like, oh my God, everybody does pens, but we do games, we do Connect 4, we do big displays, we do stickers and t-shirts, and my business is so much fun. It's so much fun. Every day is a new day. I have such a diverse clientele, and I get to be an extension of their marketing department and their world to make them look better and brighter every day.
So the whole pen thing is great. I never realized.
I know,
it's
you
like,
just kind of go, oh, it's just another pen.
Fun to track the life of a pen. Maybe put
Wouldn't it be
a
so
chip
cool?
on it and
Like every
find out,
time,
yeah.
sometimes you'll see people, it's not legal, but marking dollars.
Yes.
And then you get like all these lines on the dollar and you find out, oh my goodness,
I have no
you
idea
think it's
why they're
kinda
doing that.
dirty.
Yeah,
but
it
they're
is.
doing it because they show you how many
Oh.
people that dollar has gone to.
So-
I can even make pens and pencils out of dollars. Crazy.
Wow. Okay. So what businesses are perfect for them? You're going to tell me that every business on the planet needs to do this, but specifically, who are the people that ought to be first in line to be doing this type of
I met one today in ophthalmology department.
ophthalmology department?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
But there's, that's what I'm good at, I take out all of that guesswork for my clients. You call me, you email me, you say, I have a budget. These are the people that it's going to. This is how many I need. This is the event and the excitement about it. And I come back with ideas that are going to be different than what the other people are giving out. Now, I may tell you have a pen too, but I'm going to tell you, okay, here's my 5 best suggestions. If you hate them, that's okay. Come back to me again. I'll go through it again. But I am fresh. I get to see the new stuff. I attend a lot of the continuing education in this field. It's not just something that everybody should just order on the web. You need to make sure that you have somebody that's a partner with you and you don't pay my health insurance and you don't pay my salary and I'm an extension that you get that cares.
I love it. All right. Well, thank you so much. That's
you.
a wonderful business. Hopefully, everybody in the audience is ordering pens before you leave today.
Yeah.
And we'll look forward to getting updated on the next piece of swag that we can pass out at our conventions.
Awesome, and I love
All
being
right.
a part of the chamber. Thank you.
Thanks, Allison. Good
Have
to
a
see
good one.
you.
I'll
Thank
see
you
you
very
later.
much. Good to see you. All right, I think we're even close to being on schedule today, but I'm excited for our next guest as well. This is a person who's familiar to you from one of the legacy organizations in our community. Everyone, please welcome Dave Richens, the CEO of the United Food Bank. David. Dave.
Great to see you, Mayor.
See you.
These chairs are so uncomfortable. I always have to adjust my pants.
Okay. Speaking of swag, that's
Yeah.
great.
She do these? Does she do socks?
Do you do socks?
You do socks?
Allison, are you in the sock business? I am. Oh, absolutely. Yes. All right. Very nice. Thank you. Well, Dave, welcome to the show. United Food Bank, everyone, that's just a household name, I think, in our community. It's been one of the most loved and respected organizations forever in Mesa. So.
It is such an honor to be trusted with a legacy organization like United Food Bank that has really established itself far before I ever got there. And it's fun to be there and fulfill that mission.
The great thing about you is you took a legacy organization, but you're not treating it like it's an old organization. You're making changes, you're making it current, you're doing things to make it more relevant than it ever has been. So
my employees say it feels like a startup. And you know, I brought an example of it. We have this new fundraising thing. It's really cool. It's called a dip jar. Put our logo on the front. You order it from a company. It's got a little cell chip. We use it in various ways to fundraise. Let me show you how it works. Get your wallet out real quick.
Unfortunately, I did not bring my wallet on stage with me today. I apologize for that.
Shocker.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. You slide your card in here, and it automatically has a preset amount. We were out in the lobby earlier selling these great State 48 t-shirts, one of our swag partners. If you guys want one, all the proceeds go to help support United Food Bank. We actually, despite the lack of a wallet, brought it as a gift for
Oh,
so
wow.
Enjoy.
Thank you so much.
Maybe he'll rethink if he has that wallet actually, right? So.
Well, it might even fit too. I might need, thank you very much, that's beautiful.
So we're trying to find technology that can help us advance our mission and fundraise and put fun in fundraising.
So what else is new at the food bank? I know you've done a great job of increasing the capacity of the facilities there with the freezer space. And I know, and you've got a couple of locations, the one at Javelina and then the one off of Broadway. You're making some additions to the Javelina facility for volunteers?
Yeah, so the Javelina location was the original food bank. That's where everything started years ago. It's a building that we leased from Maricopa County, who is absolutely supportive of what we do there. We're doing a big remodel on that. The reason for, if you've ever volunteered at our Javelina facility, especially in the summer, it feels a little bit like working in a crock pot. So we are adding air conditioning through a generous grant from the Piper Foundation, and we're about halfway through that project. We should reopen sometime, soft opening in September. I look for a grand opening. I believe we have it scheduled for October 19th.
Very nice. I think that might get more volunteers if you have air conditioning.
Yeah, we're going to add, we're going to have likely on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday shifts, morning, afternoon, and evening. And so really start to open up volunteer opportunities in the evening for folks, families. We get a lot of singles groups that want to come. And so that's a particular shift that we have a lot of demand for.
That's great. So if you've got church groups or you've got teenagers or people that are looking to provide service in the community, you're a great place to call.
Yeah, and we'll be able to accommodate kids too. A lot of people like to volunteer with their children and give them a volunteer experience so they learn how to give back. And so we'll be able to accommodate some younger kids, not too young, but about 8.
Something else that you're doing that I want to make sure we talk about is you and I were at a ribbon cutting just a couple of weeks ago at AT&T, a great new facility, and then immediately after the ribbon cutting, 100 people went into a big room and we did a service project, a group fund service project for United Food Bank. And tell us about that and the opportunities people have to do something like that.
Yeah, this is one of our, I think, one of our fun new programs. We have what we call it the Corporate Mobile Build Program. And so for a donation to the food bank, we will bring a service project on site to your business. And so AT&T had an open facility kind of in their basement area. We brought all the food in, we brought the bags in, and they built a little over 1,000 emergency food bags there in about 40 minutes. It was pretty exciting. It's a really high energy activity. 1,000 bags typically takes under an hour to do. So if you want to give back, but it's hard sometimes for employers to send their employees all the way to our Javelina facility. And so by bringing it on site, we took one to Fry's, set up in their corporate parking lot. They had 100 employees come out, and they did the volunteer activity. You can see there's a video of it on our social media pages. And they had a great time, but they were able to get their employees back to work in an hour, but still have some meaningful service. We've done GoDaddy, AT&T, Intel, State Farm, American Family Insurance, William Lane's Homes.
Great.
Quite a few marquee companies have participated in the program.
And you know, everyone was having a great time. It's one of those team building fun things, and where you're having fun at work, but at the same time, at the end of the hour, you've got 1,000 bags now for the United Food Bank.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
What a great win-win.
That's great.
Dave, thanks. We appreciate the great job you're doing for United Food Bank. And so if you've got folks that want to volunteer, if you've got a business or a group that was looking for an activity, please contact United Food Bank, and let's continue to support this great organization in our community.
Just real quick, before hydration campaign.
Oh,
That's a big thing the city does.
Yes.
We're 30,000 bottles short of our goal with 7 weeks to go. So I think we're going to make it this year. So we have some great programs. If you go to our website, you can see how you can participate in that. And we want to thank the city of Mesa for the support and the Chamber of Commerce.
So just let's give a shout out for that. The goal this year was 400,000 bottles.
Correct, yeah.
And we're just, sounds like we're within 10%.
Yeah,
we have maybe another
we're
month
really
to
close.
go. So, folks, this is a life and death issue in our community. There are people that die in Maricopa County because of the combination of the extreme heat and dehydration. So this is a very important event. Next time you're in the grocery store, grab an extra carton of water and get it to any of the locations around town so that we can address this really important issue.
You bet.
And thanks for being the leader on that.
Yeah, thanks.
David. Appreciate you. Thank you very much, David. Okay, so the next, I might need some help on this next part of the show because, as you know, one of the traditional segments that Mark does is the top 10 list. And typically there's someone that comes up and Mark, I think, trims his fingernails or something while they then go through the top 10. That person is not available today, so I'm going to walk us through the top 10 list. This is compiled by the lovely Bob, the staff of the Mesa Chamber of Commerce. It's intended, I think, to be somewhat amusing, so if you could feign some laughs during the course of this, we'd really appreciate it. Here we are. I think we all know that one of the real traditions about Mesa during the summertime is the monsoon season. Some years it's just catastrophic, and we've got, tragedy in the streets, and we're working really hard at trying to put the place back together. For whatever reason, this year hasn't been quite as bad as some. So I think that prompted Bob to ask the questions, what are the top 10 things that are more reliable than the 2019 monsoon? All right, so we think 2019 monsoon's been a little bit of an underperformer, but here are things that we'd never have to worry about disappointing us. And this is, again, in no particular order, apparently. This is item number 10. If you need a phone number for someone in Mesa, call Sally. Sally is not here today, so I don't know if she knows that we're suggesting that people call her every time they need a number or not. But maybe later we can put Sally's actual phone number up on in post-production, Channel 11, we'll make sure we get that up. Number 9, yes, we had a superhero movie this summer. Predictably, that's what happens every summer. Number 8, Mesa is going to hit the 2019 hydration campaign bottle goal. There we go. As Dave mentioned just a moment ago, our goal is 400,000. We're within 10% of that right now, so please do everything you can to get some water into that program. Number 7, more people are going to move to Mesa. That's kind of like death and taxes, right? We know that's going to happen. People that keep coming here. With the additions of Google and Apple and Waymo and Kavu and others, Mesa will continue to attract world-class talent. So you can take that to the bank. Number 6, Mark Cordes will be at his own show. Okay, this is a shameless plug for Mark, who's not here, but Mark is hosting a special chamber pre-show event at his October 10th Spouse Whisperer show at the Mesa Art Center. Mark, as you might know, has a great touring program called Spouse Whisperer. It's very funny, and he's going to do a benefit for the Mesa Chamber at the Mesa Performing Arts Center. So please put that on your calendar. Number 5, you'll never want for outdoor activity in Mesa. With the Salt River, miles and miles of biking and hiking, and some of the best parks and recreation facilities in the country, Mesa makes sure you have plenty of outdoor fun. So, have fun in the outdoors. This time of year, you might want to do it early in the morning, but we're all looking forward to being able to spend more time outside once the weather clears up a little bit. Number 4, you can always count on a hoe. I did not write this, remember that, okay? The point of this is the Mesa Ho-Ho Camps. We're really proud of Mesa's facilities for spring training. And we've got this great public service organization in our community, the Mesa Ho-Ho Cams, that volunteer countless hours. Each year donate nearly $500,000 to the youth sports programs in our community. So thank you very much, Ho-Ho Cams, and let's already start getting excited about the spring training this next year. Number 3, There is always good food in Mesa. Whatever your taste, from Rodizio Grill to Bobby Q Mangoes, Vito's, and None the Porn and more, just visit the restaurant section of the Chamber directory and you'll never go hungry. I'm excited that right now we're very close to the Dobson Corridor. If you're an Asian food fan, you could come to the Dobson Corridor and eat at a different restaurant every night for a month and have a great time. So Mesa's a great place to go out to eat. Number 2, even though the monsoon is unreliable, oven mitt season continues for a while yet. Isn't that true? We're not, the monsoon might have disappointed, but the high temperatures are still here. And then the number 1 top 10 list on things that are reliable about 2019 is number 1, the Mesa Chamber of Commerce will always work to improve, promote, and advocate for businesses in Mesa. So again, another selfless or shameless self-serving plug for the Mesa Chamber of Commerce. Thank you very much. Okay, you guys, I am really good at this. We are right on time. I mean, to the minute. I'm really not very good at this. That was the joke, but thank you for being here. So we are on the next reoccurring guest that we have, and kind of something you're getting used to if you watch the show, is This Day in Mesa Morning Live. This is a trivia quiz for people that have, for whatever reason, become big fans of the show and know what the previous segments have been. So we're going to welcome to the stage Mike Picard of Ocean Air, who's going to help us with our This Day in Mesa Morning Live quiz. Mike, thank you for being here. How are you? Good to see you.
Doing well, thanks.
Okay, you are great at explaining the rules of this game, so take it away and let's see who knows the most about Mesa Morning Live.
All right, it's trivia time. Well, I'm going to ask a question. I'm going to draw a name. I'm going to ask a question, and whoever I draw can answer that question. And I normally bring a $50 gift card to the Rodizio Grill.
Yes.
But they stopped selling them online for email, so you have to actually go in and buy a hard copy. So at 9 o'clock last night, I did not know that. So winner today will get a $50 gift card to the Cheesecake Factory.
Not bad.
So
all right.
Whoever I pick, you can ask one person in the audience who's not a chamber employee. That's your lifeline. That's all you get. And yeah, so.
Great. So remind me, how do we pick the victim of this?
I think it's in that basket over there.
Okay. Oh, great. Yes, we've got everybody who's here hopefully has a business card in here. So again, you guys, the rules are we're going to pick here. We're going to have you come up here. You can choose a lifeline, a person to help you, but it can't be anybody who is smart and would probably be actually able to help you. In other words, it can't be from the Mesa Chamber of Commerce or one of us that has seen the show ever before. All right? So the person that we're going, do I pick this or do you? I pick it. Okay. Let's see who our fascinating guest is going to be.
Me, it counts.
Sandy Dyke from Options for Senior Living. Sandy, thank you. Come on up.
You do really well at pretending these lights don't exist.
Well, they are kind of bright, aren't they? Is this?
I can see you. That's it.
Is this brighter than the other location? Okay. All right. Sandy, please come on. Thank you. We appreciate you letting us victimize you like this. Appreciate it.
I just want to encourage you, you're never going to get the question. So.
Yes, I'm sure I won't.
So take a minute and tell us about yourself.
Okay, so good morning. I'm Sandy with Options for Senior Living. We are a no-cost service for folks in the valley-wide. For those who have loved ones who are no longer safe at home, I help them navigate the world of senior living and their options out there at no cost.
Wow.
That's what I do.
Why would people not call you if it doesn't cost
I don't know,
anything?
because I am pretty fun.
That's great.
Despite the situation, but
well,
yeah.
Thank you very much. Okay, Mike, so what is the trivia question that we hope Sandy can figure out?
Yeah, she's not getting it.
She's not, I think so.
1 year ago, this month, we were in this building. Were you here?
No, I wasn't.
And you're here now. Well, the main guest that month introduced herself as the new superintendent of Mesa Public Schools. Who is she?
Okay, now remember, you get to pick somebody to help you. So this person actually doesn't need to have been here a year ago. They just need to know who is the new superintendent of Mesa Public Schools, right? So choose wisely, Sandy.
You might want to look in the audience for somebody raising their hand in a red blouse, something like that.
Susan Carlin might be a good choice.
Amber.
E-M.
Amber.
Amber, and her
what is
last
her
name is?
do we require a last name on this? How hard do we make this?
Oh, come on now.
She is kind of a rock star. She's kind of like Elvis. You really only need to know her first name. Because when your name is Ember, you know, that's pretty good. Ember Conley. Do you want to go with that?
Well done. Final answer?
Yes, all right.
Ember Conley is the answer, so there you go.
Oh, congratulations.
Congratulations.
All right. Well, thank you. I'm glad we made it through there. Ember Conley, thank you for letting us talk about you without being here. Fun fact, it's not amber, it's ember, like a burning ember. And Ember's father's name is Smokey. I'm not making this up. She has a sister named Blaze. So that it's Smokey and Ember and Blaze are the family names. So if your family's not that cool, I'm sorry, but that's a pretty cool name for families. I hope I got that right, Ember. She'll be correcting me later if I exaggerated. All right, well, we are now up to our main and very interesting guest. This is somebody that you read about a lot in the newspaper, and it's a very timely topic. As you know, we're about to start an election season, and there's a lot of hope that we'll get through this election season without anything horrible happening. And the man who's entirely responsible for that, for all of us, is our wonderful Maricopa County recorder, Adrian Fontes. Adrian. Thank you, Adrian. We appreciate you. You know, I'm not sure that I really exaggerated your job description, right? Because you are either the most hated or the most not thought about person. Nobody ever says, hey, great job, right?
That's exactly right. You know, the office has rarely ever in the history of elections, administrators around the country are always like, they either hate us or they ignore us, and we want to be ignored, right? We just want to get it done right. It was funny, my trainer actually told me that he met someone from one of the TV stations. They were doing an event, and he said, yeah, you know, I know Adrian Fontes, and she goes, oh, he has a hard job. And I'm like, well, you know, but it's great work, right? Maricopa County is the third largest voting jurisdiction in the United States of America. We've got 2.5 million voters right here. We've got 5 congressional districts entirely inside of the county. We touch on 3 others. So there's only 1 congressional district in Arizona that is not part of Maricopa County. You know, a couple dozen municipalities, Indian reservations, water districts, school districts. We do all of that stuff. So it's a year-long, every year, all the time sort of endeavor. And it's a lot of fun.
Well, the fact that elections are so covered by the press, I mean, the whole dangling Chad. I mean, around the country, there's all these scandals having to do with elections, and the fact that we're the 3rd largest election department in the country, and we haven't been on the front page, that's something to be proud of.
Sure. You know, we've made a lot of adjustments, a lot of modernization. You know, I took office in January of 2017. As a matter of fact, one of the first things I did after I got elected was come on this show, and I have to say, you're pretty good at this. Isn't he pretty good at this? I mean, the top 10 list and all that. You know, I don't know how long you're going to be doing what you do normally, your day job, but this is not a bad career for you.
Well, speaking of elections, maybe you and I can talk later about that. Well, so in addition to just being relevant, you know, one day every 2 or 4 years, what do you do when you're not managing campaigns? Is it take 2 years to get ready for that next election day, or is there? Yes.
Yeah. So there's a whole lot of work that goes into it, all the way down to literally planning precincts. Let me give you a really quick example. In 2017, when we first took office, we were getting ready already for the 2018 election. We've got a couple of really small precincts in Maricopa County on the south side of South Mountain. Okay, so downtown Phoenix is bordered on the south by South Mountain, and then in Ahwatukee, there's 3 precincts there that actually belong to the other side of the mountain. because of the way the maps were drawn, and this U.S. Census Bureau put numbers out after the last. So these exercises, maps going back and forth between the Census Bureau, the post office, our office, and all these other things created a situation where we've got a couple of pockets where Ahwatukee voters are in the South Phoenix congressional district. They're represented by LD 27, not LD 18, which touches Tempe and all the rest of Ahwatukee. So these things have to be dealt with. That's the building block at the base. Then we've got to talk about our logistics and our training and updating laws, which happen every year. All of these things culminate in, the best analogy is this. When you look at your cell phone, you can swipe and tap and have the whole world at your fingertips. Well, that didn't just happen overnight. There was a lot of planning and chemistry and design and physics and engineering that went into making that happen. That's how elections work.
So let's talk a little bit. Are we getting new election hardware for this upcoming? I mean, this is 2019. The mother of all elections, the presidential election, the primary before that is literally 1 year away.
Well, a lot less. We're in March.
Oh,
yeah.
The presidential preference is in March.
The presidential preference is in March,
okay.
And then we're already less than a year away from the primary because the legislature moved the date up to early August.
Right.
And
so what are people going to see when they show up at the poll? Is it going to be the same old box that and the same old paper that I've shoved through, or something changing?
So let me walk through it real quick. So, I took office in early 2017. We needed to see what the situation was for the first couple years. Look at what was going on the ground. We made some changes, but there were some fundamental things that we wanted to look at before we made major adjustments. So that's when we got together after November of 2018 with the Board of Supervisors, and we said, we need a lot more people, we need better technology, we need better funding, and they did some studies on personnel and how many folks we need, and we worked together with the committee that was created after that. And so all together, what we've done is we've taken our election department, and this is us working together with the board, because by statute, we're only responsible for voter registration and early voting, and the board has this charter that they gave the recorder for everything else. But technically, they're really still responsible for that. So they're taking a little bit more responsibility than they had in the past. They gave us 26 bodies, 26 new jobs to augment our only 21 that were existing. So we're actually more than doubling the size of the department based on what this committee and these studies showed. We're increasing our communication budget because we've got a lot of interesting things happening. And of course, we started our study, our RFP background work back in December of last year, so that we could be in a position today, literally today, we are unboxing some of that new hardware that you were talking about. And we couldn't make fundamental changes in the way that the elections department and recorder's office worked to make elections happen until we'd seen it happen for 2 years. Watch the operation, look at the processes, look at how folks are utilized, then make the critical changes. And so this has been a 4-year-long, it's a 4-year term, and luckily we had those first 2 years, not hiccup-free, but we needed to look at it. Now we're going to be executing 100% for 2020, and I think we're going to do good. And the short answer is yes, we have new equipment.
Okay, so at the national level, there's a lot of debate going on about how do we respond to this threat from Russia and other folks that are trying to influence our elections. Apparently, the latest thing I heard was that every state in the union during the last election somehow was under attack by these foreign influencers. So I think there's more and more emphasis on we need to have a secure system that has maybe a paper backup to an electronic vote, right? And
so there's two big security concerns in elections, two major security concerns in elections. One is the one that you just mentioned, and that looks at old technologies, insecure technologies, tries to probe through folks who work at like email phishing attacks, attacks on service for stuff that's connected to the internet. And that's on the technical side. But the other major threat to our democracy from foreign actors is you and me being unduly influenced, spreading misinformation, talking about things that we have a feeling are not true, but they hit at us emotionally, and being less informed than we ought to be, spreading misinformation among ourselves. That's the biggest hack. It's the hack of the American voters. And when we get to the point where we can really discuss this openly and say, look, we're going to become more informed, we're going to pay closer attention, we're going to read local media, local papers, listen and update ourselves on what's happening around us, then we're less susceptible to that. And on the technical side, going back to the first question, we're working with federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies. We're working directly with our county Office of Enterprise Technology and their information security folks. We have our own IT department that's looking, so we've got lots and lots of eyes looking all over our system at the hardware, at the software, and at our own folks as well to make sure that everybody is acting in the most secure manner possible.
You know, that's a great point you made, because I think a lot of us, when we think of election security, if we go to this, someone's going to try to hack into our system and, you know, monkey with the vote tally or something like that. And that certainly is a threat that we need to address. Yes. But as you indicated earlier, what we can really count on is that there will be people that are seeking to influence the election with fake Facebook posts and all that type of thing. That's going to happen.
And we know that it has happened. It happened in 2016. I mean, if you've read the entire Mueller report, I've gotten 2/3 of the way through it. I can't say I've read the whole thing. But, it lays out what some of our foreign adversaries did and the impact that it had. And without getting into the politics of it, you really have to be concerned and alert. And elections are as much about us making the decision as they are, us, the population, as they are about my office and our partners with the supervisors reflecting that decision in an outcome, right? So this partnership includes updating your voter registration information at maricopa.vote. Are you registered with the right party? Have you moved recently? These are really important things to help us keep a secure database, because as we continue to update this data and information from you, we build a stronger partnership. And that makes for more secure elections. So when you talk about security, it can't just be this sort of idea of a technical thing that someone at a computer's working on. It's all of us working together to make sure that our elections, everyone's elections, work well.
So a moment ago, you said maricopa.vote. Where do people need to go? Most of us get our ballots in the mail.
Yes.
And so we're going to want to make sure that in anticipation of this important election that it's coming to the right place.
Right.
And that we've got everything figured out that way. So is it, where do I?
Maricopa.vote.
Maricopa.vote.
We tried to make it easy. If you live in Maricopa County, and that includes all of Mesa, and I think most of the chamber members too, Maricopa.vote is where you go. There's a lot of information on there. And one really fun piece of information, because I think a lot of voters out there are concerned, well, did they get my ballot? Did they count my ballot? Look, we have a text messaging service. I'd like to say we created it, but we stole it from Denver elections. And the number is this. This is one time I encourage people when I'm talking to take out your cell phones or make a note. 628-683. That number, 628-683, if you text the word join to 628-683, it'll take you to a page at maricopa.vote where you can sign up for an automatic text notification. And what does this do? It gives you some messages automatically generated. So when your ballot has been ordered a little less than 2 months before the election from the printer, you get a text message that says your ballot's been ordered for your upcoming election. Then when it gets mailed to you, the system automatically generates another text message. Your ballot's been mailed to you. Then when we receive it back in the mail, we scan them in and a text message automatically goes out and says, we've received your ballot and we're sending it for signature verification, and so on through the system. And this is one of the ways that you can actually track. Without going to our website, without having to manually put anything in, you sign up once, it'll ask for the right kind of information to get you on board. 628-683, you text the word join. We've been using it since 2017 when we first piloted it. We created it for our voters, and it's doing so well, and people just love it. And it's a great service. Again, part of the partnership that we have with our voters, part of that collaboration is making sure that we're doing what we need to do to rebuild trust and confidence in these systems, make it more transparent, more secure, and improve the voter experience.
Great. So I hope that our Channel 11 folks are going to be able to put some of these numbers up on the screen so that folks at home can do it while they're watching this. But a couple of, the maricopa.vote, that's the great website to go to. Make sure that you're
there's a button
registered.
for the service at the bottom of that page too.
Okay, and then in addition, or if you don't do it as part of that, text the number 628-683 and type in the word join.
Type in the word. So you'd put the number as if it's a phone number?
Yeah.
but it's only, I know it's only 6 digits, that's okay. 628683, and then you put the word join, bam. It's gonna take you to the page, you sign up with your phone, you sign up online, and you'll get those messages either via text or email, or both, I think. But it's great new technology that really augments what, look, you said most of our voters are voting by mail.
Yeah.
In the August 2018 primary, 85% of the tabulated vote was from early voters who gave us their ballot in an envelope with a signature on it. 85%. And in November, this last year, 2018, it was close to 81%. So we know, you know, 4 out of 5 Maricopa County voters are not going to polling places. They're voting at home, right? Home's where you want to be safe and secure. You want to take the time to look at what you need to do. And the increase in the number of our permanent early vote list is actually going up faster than the number of voters that are registered. So what we also know is as we grow Maricopa County, right, as we get more people here, the rate of permanent early vote list voters is growing faster than the rate of registered voters. And that's because it's easy. It's something that I think we should really consider doing statewide, frankly, in every election. And it doesn't mean you don't vote in person. You can still do that. Replace your ballot, go get your sticker and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, I think we're moving in that direction, and we're doing everything we can to do this right.
It's just so much more convenient. When you see the people standing in line, sometimes in the hot weather, you realize that I would far prefer dropping it into a mailbox than doing that.
Yeah.
So you indicated that I may have led people to believe that, oh, we'll worry about this next year during the elections. No, the elections have started already. If you live in Mesa, all 4 of our elementary school and high school districts have elections this November that are entirely mail-in.
That's right.
Mesa Public Schools, Gilbert Public Schools, Higley, Queen Creek, they're all, this November, they all have an election, and you can't go stand in line anywhere. So
just like we did in 2017, you know, we're going to be mailing out 1.5 million ballots in November this year, 2019, to school districts, water districts, and fire districts all over Maricopa County. It's an enormous exercise, and again, it's not something that a lot of folks have in their head, but that's one of the ways that our department continues year in and year out, month in and month out planning. In fact, we've got a live election going right now for the Pine Council District in the city of Peoria. And one of the ways that we're talking to folks over there about it is we're using the latest technology to geotag online social media, advertisements and all that good stuff for those folks in those zip codes to remind them of what's happening. That's going to be very important when we get to March. March is a critical election because we've got the presidential preference election on March 17th. Well, out here in the East Valley, Tempe and Chandler have municipal elections the week before. So Tuesday the 10th and Tuesday the 17th are both official election days. So we're going to be spending a good bit of time and energy and a little bit of money talking to those voters specifically because they'll be getting 2 pieces of mail, 2 different ballots for 2 elections within a week of each other. It's just the way the law works out. So we're going to do everything we can to reach out, educate voters so that they can make sure to be included in all of the elections that they're eligible for.
okay, so there's no reason not to right now go to those 2 sites that we described earlier, maricopa.vote and the text number, so that you can be fully prepared to participate in the upcoming elections. And just so we know, the next elections that are coming up for those of us perhaps that live in Mesa, the March presidential preference.
Well, November's the next one.
No, I'm sorry, the November, the city, Mesa Public Schools, Gilbert Public Schools, the override.
Right.
Please vote in that. We can't use Channel 11 to encourage you how to vote, but we can encourage you to vote. So that's in November.
Yes.
March is the presidential preference. That's like kind of a presidential primary.
It is, and this year there's, we anticipate, and we don't know for sure until the declarations are made later in the year, but it's very likely that it'll only be for one of the political parties. We think the only contest will be for the Democrats. So that's going to be March 17th. And then for Mesa voters.
So who's going to get, if you're registered as an independent, do you get a ballot for the presidential primary?
Well, it's interesting that you asked that question. It's a little timely. As it stands today, Arizona law excludes non-party members only from the presidential primary, that March election. So if you're not registered with the party, 29 days before that March election, you can't vote in it, all right? I am an advocate of opening that up since it's a taxpayer-funded election. I'm an advocate of opening it up for non-party designated or independent voters. We're hoping that the Democratic Party, my party, will kind of open the doors. We'll see if that happens. We don't know. But as it stands today, the rule is if you are not registered with the party on the ballot for the presidential preference election, 29 days before, you can't vote in that election.
Okay, so if you want to participate in that presidential preference, you need to register right now as a Democrat. And you might have a contested Republican. We'll
possible.
see.
It is entirely possible.
But as this unfolds, if for whatever reason it's important to you to participate in that election, you have to be a member of one of those parties 29 days before the March preference election.
Yes, okay. And we'll definitely be talking to everyone in Maricopa County about the specific rules as we get closer to those elections.
Okay. And then, as you mentioned, the Arizona legislature just this last session changed the dates of the August primary.
Right. Traditionally, our election season in Arizona is end of August and then the Tuesday in November. That end of August date was moved to the first Tuesday in August. So the 2020 regular primary election, where independents can vote in that one, that's why I want the other one changed because it's confusing. Independents can vote in August. It's going to be August 4th, 2020, for the November regular general election. So those timelines are changed just a little bit.
Okay, so August 4th is early. Some families might still be coming back from vacation, but hopefully you're getting your ballot in the mail.
My kids are already in school by then. It's rough.
Yes.
I live in Phoenix. We got school all the time.
East Valley is a little more civilized. We wait a week or two before we throw our kids out the door. But you got to pay attention, folks. And I know we all are very anxious to participate in the elections. Mr. Fontes and our great leaders have made some real progress in helping us to do that in an easy and secure way. So thank you for the great job you're doing. But really, it's our job to do this. So.
Absolutely, it is, and that's the one thing I think that's most important that I'd like to say is, elections are not just about the people who run them. They're about the people who vote in them, the people who make it happen. And, you know, the more we get more folks participating in our democracy, the more leaders like you and me understand what the voice of the people is, right? If we have lesser and lesser people voting, then we're only catering to the folks that vote. And so my encouragement to people out there is get your friends and neighbors registered, get them voting, talk to people about this. This is everything, and local elections really matter. Absolutely. You know, the decisions that you make at the local level here for the city of Mesa, they have an impact on small businesses, right? You and the council are responsible for some of those policies. The chamber is a partner and the voters are a partner too. So those are really important things, not just for our economy and everything else. We pay a lot of attention up at the top. There's a lot of noise up there, but local elections really matter just as much as our chambers and others.
Or more, I would say.
Yeah.
You might want to start at the back of your ballot and work your way forward, just in case you.
I know some people who do that.
Yeah. Well, again, Adrian, thank you so much. There's a lovely gift from one of our local cobblestone auto detailers to help you drive home in a clean car. And we really appreciate the great work that you're doing for us.
We're gonna do a drawing at the office in the elections and recorders department to see which one of our folks is gonna get themselves a nice little detail job.
Thank you. That's proud. I'm sure that's the appropriate way to handle it.
Thank you very much, man.
Thank you so much. We'll see you. Appreciate
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mr. Fontes. And again, local elections, the most important election that we've got up in the near future is our school override election. We've got, and then if you live anywhere in Mesa, regardless of which school district you're in November, you're going to get a chance to continue those overrides. And for example, Mesa Public Schools, 8% of their salaries comes from that override. So if that doesn't fail, or if that does fail, we're going to try to find 8% of our teacher salaries somewhere. So please pay attention to those elections and please participate. Well, that concludes our program today. I want to thank our great guests. We've had Michael Voss from Mesa Community College talking about career and technical education. Dave Richens from the Food Bank. Please support the Food Bank and have a party with your business, stuffing bags and pick up some extra water. And let's make sure our hydration campaign ends well. Allison, thank you for all the great swag that we're going to have as a result of your business. And of course, we want to thank Adrian Fontes for coming and updating us on our elections here in Maricopa County. I also want to thank, of course, the great folks at Channel 11 for all the production work that you put into making this happen. And we would, again, remind you that Mark Cordes has a show at the Mesa Arts Center that will benefit the Mesa Chamber of Commerce October 10th through 13th. So make a special effort to go out to that. He's he's a far more interesting and funny guy than I am, so you'll enjoy going to that show, and hopefully he'll be back in this seat very, very soon. So again, thank you for coming. Thanks for supporting the Mesa Chamber of Commerce, and let's make it a great day. Thank you.